Hello, this is Joe Jacoby, Carol Smith, and Mike Exford recording the live Wake Up Now training call, corporate call on WTI, Greg Edel's site. It will begin in a few minutes. You can hear the dings. Well, they said they'd go live at the top of the hour, but
all right. Go ahead and turn the chimes off. Let me get the recording on, and we are ready to go.
This conference is being recorded.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. It is the beginning of an eventful week. There's nothing like starting a week on a Monday that is the end of a month. That always keeps things nice and hectic. I know for you guys and for us, as you can imagine, there's a huge list of things that happen at the end of the month. Administrative, technical, financial, and so as you guys are, I know some of you are aware, or many of you are aware, probably having issues at the current moment, and I will give you guys updates. I promise. I've got feelers out to everybody. I've got texts going back and forth with President Jason Elrod, with Stuart Harris. So if I get any updates while we're on the call from them, if I get any text messages that tell me what's going on with the hub, I will update you guys. Unfortunately, it's just human nature. It's like Christmas. No matter how hard you tell yourself next year you're going to plan ahead, you get your Christmas shopping done early, there's always the insanity right the week before Christmas to get everything done. So it's not for a lack of good intentions, but everybody tries to get their stuff done ahead of time, and then sure enough, last day of the month, everybody comes crashing into the system to try to place people out of their waiting room, try to move people around, get things done and posted again, get some final sign-ups done. So the spike in activity that happens at the end of every month, especially the very last day, is huge. And as much as we try to get folks to clean things up 2 or 3 days before the end of the month, there's always that mad scramble toward the end. So believe me when I say that right at the moment we're as frustrated as you are, those of you that are trying to get on. Just stay tuned. We're going to keep trying. I know there is a team of folks working on it as we speak. Worst case, we'll have to just restart some systems and figure out where the problem is. But they are working on it, and like I said, if I have any updates for you before this call is over, we will. I'll pass them on. I've got my phone right next to me, so if I get any text messages from Jason or Jordan, I will jump on those. So, guys, welcome in. It's besides just the end of the month, it's really the end of the first 6 months of 2014. And I know I talked about this last week as we were closing in on the end of the month. That I don't know about you guys, but it seems like time is flying, and that's both a good thing and a bad thing. It's exciting because there's a lot of great things happening, and there's a lot of momentum, and there's a lot of people enjoying a lot of success at the moment. You can just feel that things are growing. They're growing here in the U.S. They're growing internationally. So Wake Up Now is sort of a hurricane of activity at the moment, even if as of right now some of it is technical as we try to get the hub relaunched or reloaded. But it's a good time as we get halfway through a year. It's always one of those good times to stop and take an inventory of how you're doing versus your expectations during the year. Whenever we get to Christmas, I just used that analogy about Christmas shopping, but whenever you get to that last week or two in December and you realize that the whole new year is just around the corner, right? That always feels like such a big deal, that there's a whole new year, a new number, a new set of possibilities, new goals that you're setting for yourself. A new year holds the promise of things that you didn't get to accomplish in the previous year. And all that excitement kind of builds up to New Year's Eve and midnight and New Year's Day. If you're a college football fan, the bowl games, which is, for me at least, one of the highlights of the year. But it's just sort of this promise of everything new and everything fresh and a fresh start. And, you're still in the middle of winter in a lot of the country, but there's hope that you've now turned the corner into a new year and spring isn't that far away. And you can sort of see the light at the end of the winter tunnel and all that good stuff. Well, if that's the beginning of the year, then June, end of June, the beginning of July, as we head into the 4th of July weekend, which is a big holiday weekend right at the end of this week, it's sort of a time to not just look back on the first 6 months of 2014, it's a chance to look forward to the second half of 2014. And I know on a call this size, with everybody that we've got on the line, there are some folks who are way ahead of their expectations for the year as far as what they wanted to accomplish and goals they've set, and that's awesome. And I know that for other people, things maybe haven't gone the way you've wanted for the first, half of the year, and you set yourself a challenge and some goals for the second half of this year, and it now is a great time to look at those and to set those up for yourself and decide, what do I need to do from today until the end of this calendar year to meet or exceed my personal expectations? Okay, your personal goals. I don't know what your personal goals are, but I hope you set some. We did a great call not too long ago about setting goals. But if you didn't get a chance to hear that, please go listen to the archived call. It was a good one. But it's a good time to sit down and say, all right, let's set myself a specific, measurable, action-oriented goal with a time frame, right, by the end of the year that I can accomplish, and figure out what you're going to do. And so tonight's training topic is really a part of that, because these steps to success, even though I'm calling it, a successful start to your business, it doesn't matter if you're just starting a new set of goals or if you're brand new in the business. I know on this call we probably got a handful of people, or a number of people, who are brand new to the business, like literally in the last week or two, and we've got two people who have been on board for a couple of years and working their way, ranking up, kind of kicking, screaming, fighting, working their business hard, and that's great. But what we're going to cover tonight is universal, in that these success strategies have a lot to do with how you handle your business from today forward. Now, I think they're especially valuable if you're new to the business, if you're new to the network marketing industry, okay, or the direct sales industry as it's known, which is essentially word-of-mouth marketing. But if you're new to the industry as a whole, or you're new to Wake Up Now specifically, then I think you're looking at 4 tips tonight that we're going to cover, 4 strategies for success, to get a fast start, okay, to get a quick, successful start. And so if you've got somebody who that on your team that is new and needs some encouragement as they get started in the business, and they're maybe not able to make the call for whatever reason, then please make sure that you get them the link, let them know we record these calls, and they can listen to the link as well after the fact. They can listen to the recording. But this is especially useful for folks who are just getting started in the business, and for those who have been around a while, it is a great reminder of what's important. And so we're going to, as we cover those, we are going to give you as many details as just. And then after we're done with the call, I will. I'm just getting text right now. I just got text from Jordan and text from Jason. Okay, that's about an event. Not an update on the hub. It's an event update. Okay, I'll get back to you guys in a second. But please make sure you know that folks can listen to the archived recordings of these calls. I typically will post them on Facebook. I'll also post any relevant articles that I find that relate to the topic, so you guys can share those with your teams as well. And then finally, the Wake Up Now blog has information posted as well. Okay, if you haven't been there, I put this plug in every week. blog.wakeupnow.com, no W's, just blog.wakeupnow.com or wakeupnow.com/blog. And under training, you'll see the links to the previous calls. And as we start to build out our training platform at Wake Up Now, you're going to see the archived calls as part of that training. We'll always have that list, but for now, the blog is the easiest place to go and get those. And so anything that is said tonight that you think somebody else needs to hear, please make sure you refer them to the blog. So having said that, let me make one quick announcement, and then we'll get to our training. We have added an event in Miami. We talked to a lot of folks who are on the waiting list for the escape trip, which is sold out, and there's going to be a meeting not too long after and whatnot. But in the meantime, we wanted to create an event that is open to anybody who can be in the area, whether you come to the escape trip or not. Again, if you've been trying or you're on the wait list, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to get in. There's been an event planned. There's a beach party planned, okay, for Monday, July 7th, okay, from 8 to midnight, and it's at Nikki Beach. And Nikki Beach, it's Nikki. The Nikki Beach Club in Miami is a big oceanfront complex with an outdoor club, great restaurant, nightclub, the whole bit. But we are throwing a party there, and I think the information has been posted online already. I know Robin Mansell made a post about it with details. If not, keep checking the Wake Up Now Facebook page, and I'll probably post a link as well on my Facebook page. And if you and I are not connected on Facebook, please feel free to shoot me an invite and friend request, and I'll connect with you on Facebook as well. It's Andy Bennis1, Andy Bennis, W-U-N, and we can connect. But I'm going to post it there as well. At any rate, it is a party that is open to people who are not necessarily going to be there for the escape trip. I know there's a charge, and I'm looking it up while we're talking, but I don't see it. I know there will be a cost. I think it's going to be in the neighborhood of $40, but it'll be appetizers. There'll be a cash bar. There'll be food available for purchase, but it's basically going to be a beachfront, an oceanfront nightclub party, a Wake Up Now party in Miami. So if you wanted to go to the escape trip but couldn't get in, if you're in the area and you can make it to the beach party, looks like it's going to be a great event. I am bummed. I will be out of town with my family, celebrating my older daughter's high school graduation on a little family trip, so I'm bummed I won't be there. I'll be having a different kind of party. But if you're in the area and you want to get there, make plans for it. And again, look for details online. Facebook, I think we're going to post up on the blog about it as well. So another update for you at this point, I keep trying to refresh the hub, and at this point I'm still unable to. I'll keep you posted as the call goes on if I hear anything more about the hub. So final housekeeping item again is that as the month wraps up, tonight, if you've got specific questions or issues, stay in touch with your teams, keep trying into the evening, and I know that typically if the system goes down like this and things didn't get done, Wake Up Now is always, we've always gone out of our way to make sure that it's fair to you guys and that you've got a day or two extra to get certain things done so they can get done when the system went down. So I will keep trying while we're on the call, but in the meantime, just know we'll do what we have to do to make it right. So let's segue then to our to our training topic for tonight. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, these I'm calling them the 4 S's. The 4 S's for a speedy success or for a successful start to your business. There's a lot of S's there. But they're applicable to anybody, although special attention is being given right now to folks who are relatively new to the business. And a lot of folks are wondering, what do I need to do to kind of get going successfully? What do I have to get started on? Because there's different people have different strategies. There are people who hold meetings, they have calls, they're doing a ton of different things, different styles, you know, their Facebook presence, their social media strategy. Everybody seems to approach it slightly differently. What do I have to do? So I've kind of chosen 4 things that I think are universal in terms of getting a successful start, okay? 4 S's. And so if you're taking notes, this is number 1. So the first S, when we talk about the 4 S's of a successful start, number 1 is study. Study. Now, what do I mean by that? I know that brings up memories of high school and having to take tests and reading books and all that, and that's not meant to scare you. What I mean by study is know your business. Know your craft. Know your product. If you are pursuing this, whether it's part-time or eventually for full-time income, treat it like a profession, not a hobby. Treat it like something you want to be good at. And in order to do that, you have to do a couple things. You've got to read. You've got to read articles, whether it's Forbes.com or Entrepreneur.com or any of the online magazines that have great articles or blogs that you'd like to read that get you in the right mindset as an entrepreneur, that give you tips to success, things that you can't come up with on your own. You've heard Jason Elrod say it multiple times you've ever heard him speak. None of us is as smart as all of us. And so there's a lot of wisdom out there from other people who have been there and done that. There are people who have gone before you and been very successful. Learn from them. Study them. Read the articles. Okay? In the Wake Up Now world, what do you study? You want to learn the comp plan. How does this work? How do you get paid? When do you get paid? Okay, how much product do you have to sell? What does your team structure have to look like? Okay, you'll want to know as much of that as possible. I'm not saying you need to memorize it in your first 2 days in the business, but I'm saying that you need to spend as much time early on in your Wake Up Now career as you need to get comfortable explaining a comp plan to somebody else. You with me? Because pretty soon, and I mean within the first 30 days of your business, you are going to become the authority for other people. And so it's on you to study and become an expert. Okay? Be as confident in your knowledge of the comp plan, products, as you would expect someone to be if you went to them with questions. Does that make sense? So I want all of you right now to just picture somebody on your team, in your upline, whether it's the person who enrolls you or it's somebody else. I want you to picture somebody who's had influence on you being here. And I want you to think about how much you look to them to have some of the answers, right? How much are you relying on them to answer some of your questions? Okay? Now, for some of you, you're pretty reliant on those other folks to give you answers. That's why you got comfortable with the business, because somebody was able to give you answers. That's what you need to become. You need to become the person with the answers. And the only way to do that is to study. Study the comp plan. Study the product guide. Study the individual products. Learn the products. Know them. Learn the hub. How do you log into your hub? How do you see your back office? How do you take a look at your teams? I just posted last week on Facebook, right, that little video about how to use your structured view, how to analyze what's going on with your teams and kind of dig in and take a look at people. Things like that. Study and learn and then implement. Okay? So study. You want to become knowledgeable quickly. All right? So that's number 1, study. Now, related to that is a potential risk. What happens when you study, you fill your head with knowledge, but you don't do anything? What happens? Answer, nothing. Okay? Nothing happens. You become a smarter person who is no further along in their career success than they were the day before. Okay? We've all seen it happen to college professors and people who love knowledge for the sake of knowledge, but don't do anything with it. So to avoid that, we go to number 2. The number 2S is share. Start sharing. Start sharing products. Start sharing information. Start sharing a vision. Start sharing a dream. You know, I was looking at on Facebook today, and Seymour Green posted a link to a bunch of his old posts throughout his network marketing career, and I was kind of quickly flipping through them, and it made for some interesting reading. But it was interesting to see that so much of what he was doing in his Facebook posts over the years was just building a dream, building a vision. You know, he's in Southern California, so he gets some gorgeous sunsets. He takes pictures of himself on the beach and says, "This is why I don't want to work in an office." And what is that doing? To share a specific product, necessarily, he did that in other posts, but he shared a vision, he shared a dream. And you guys can start doing that as soon as you get started. You can share about the products, you can share about the opportunity. Use your social media network, use your personal network, friends, family, complete strangers. You guys have heard on Facebook tons of stories of folks, you know, who have been in restaurants and they've shared things with servers, and all of a sudden they, oh man, I would love to do that. How do you get started with that? And all of a sudden, boom, there's somebody that wants to talk to you for. Okay, so there are a lot of ways to share, and the good news is you don't have to oversell. You don't have to be the sleazy salesperson. You don't have to come on too strong. All you have to do is tell the truth, share some excitement, share some vision, share some dream, talk about the products. If you're holding a can of Thunder, you have one you can share with them, do it. Products sell themselves. Or if you have your phone, show them your TaxBot app or your Run Local. Okay? And so I would, you know, suggest that whether you just joined yesterday or you joined 2 years ago, sharing and talking about your business, talking about your vision, talking about your goals, is that process of putting knowledge to use. Because the minute they say, well, how does that work? Now you're going to go to your knowledge of the comp plan and tell them a story. Well, basically help sell products for a company, and I run a sales team that earns commissions for helping with product. And I have three, you know, as soon as I end up with 3 folks on my team that are generating enough sales volume, then my business is broken even. I'm earning enough to cover my cost, and then from there on out, it's all profit. And so basically, I'm running a sales business, and we've got some awesome products that we represent, and then you go into your explanation about the products. But in order to do that, you have to know the comp plan, and you have to know the products. So number 1 was study, so you know that stuff. Number 2 was share, and the message there is don't wait. There's 2 messages I'm going to leave before we jump off from share. Number 1 is don't wait. Some people feel like they need to have a head full of knowledge, that they have to know everything about the comp plan. They have to know everything about the product. They have to memorize the nutrition label on Thunder before they can talk about their Wake Up Now business. And that's bull. You can start sharing the day after you start. Even if you have nothing else to share but your vision and your dream. And let's face it, guys, that's 80 to 90% of some people's motivation. So sometimes just the dream and the vision is enough to get people going. So don't wait. Number 2, bring it up wherever you are. You don't have to be talking to somebody who you know needs part-time income. Talk to anybody, hairdressers, flight attendants, restaurant servers, your mailman, whatever. And it's not about, hey, are you looking for some part-time income? Talk to me. I'll show you how to. It's not about going into sales pitch. It's about talking to people about how excited you are about what you're doing. Okay, about how excited you are that you've got extra income coming in, about this new business you started. Okay, so share. So number 1 was study, number 2 was share, and number 3 is support. Support. That's the third S. Support. Now, this comes in 2 flavors. Okay? There's chocolate and vanilla when it comes to support. There's getting support, which means going to your upline, going to your teammates, when you put on meetings together or events, or get support for what you do. Okay? Sometimes that means calling your sponsor or your enroller or somebody in your upline and just with a call or a text conversation, I'm really down, I'm a little discouraged, I'm sick of hearing no, you know, I just need a little, you know, shot of enthusiasm, right, or encouragement. And somebody around you will step in and give you that encouragement. Somebody in the Facebook family will give you encouragement. The Wake Up Now family is amazing at encouragement. I'm telling you, I love logging on and watching your Facebook posts because the way you guys encourage each other, the way you hold each other accountable, every once in a while you let each other vent, but it always comes around to stick it out, stay with it, stay in there, keep fighting. it's worth it, and everybody who's got has a bad day comes around. And so you need that support because there will be rough days. If somebody promised you that if you got into this business, it would be easy, I hate to be the one to go ahead and burst that bubble, but they lied to you. No business is easy. Some businesses are more fun than others, and I think this is one of them. Some businesses have more opportunity with greater flexibility and higher upside, and I think this is one of them. But that doesn't mean it's easy, okay? And so there will be days when you're just burned out. You've worked hard. You've made a lot of phone calls. You've had tons of conversations. And it just is one of those days where things did not go the way you wanted them to go. Those are the days that you need your teammates. Because, guys, if we don't lift each other up, nobody else is going to. Because everybody else is stuck in that 9-to-5 cubicle job, and it might be a lot of us still, right? A lot of you right now. You know that those days are tough. And there aren't a lot of people to pull you up because they're in the same situation. So this is a wonderful industry to get team support and encouragement. So get support is number one. And then number two is the other side of that same coin. Give support. Give support. You won't always be the one that's down. Sometimes it'll be the guy next to you who's down. Okay? The girl who just signed up is going to be down and discouraged. And you're going to be the one that's going to lend some encouragement or some training or some advice or help them do a three-way call. All right? And you know, the analogy, a little side note, you know, my wife and I, of some of the things that we do as far as volunteering in the community, we both have a background earlier in our careers in psychology and some counseling, and especially, you know, my wife even more than I, but, you know, on the side, we do some marriage mentoring through our church. Kind of trained to do that, and we do some premarital counseling for young people getting ready to get married, and we do some marriage mentoring. And one of the things we tell our couples as they're going through this, especially the premarital counseling for young people that don't know what it means to be married and what it's like, is to say, look, there are days that one of you is going to be down and the other one is going to be up. There are other days it's going to be the opposite, but some days you might both be down. Husband and wife both have a bad day. Now what do you need? Now you're going to have friends or family or faith. 3 very important F's. That's a subject for another call. But you're going to need something outside of you two to kick you up. And it's the same with the business world. There will be days that you are down. And maybe you and your closest friend in the business are both having a bad day, and you're both frustrated. And you guys are together going to need somebody to pick you up. Some days you're going to be the one that people are going to look to be that encouragement. And you may never know it. You might put up a Facebook post that has a picture of a pretty plaque or some inspirational quote or saying or just a pretty nature picture with a motivational quote. And somebody might read that and read your comments about it, and that might change their attitude for the day. You might have just saved that person's day. You never know who you're going to impact, okay, by offering support. So it's important that you get support when you need it, and it's important to give support when it's needed by others. Because we all work together, okay? Anybody who lies to you and says they're up 100% of the time, all the time, everything's great, everything's unicorns and rainbows, baby, all day, every day, is lying. They might be better at hiding it, and they might have their own coping mechanisms, but they're human too. And hopefully they've got a team around them to help support them on the bad days. So the third S is support. So again, recap. Number 1 was study, so you know your stuff and you can become an authority. Number 2 was share. Right away, start talking about your business, about the products. Share, share, share. Do not wait, okay, and don't hold it back from anybody in particular. 3 was support. Getting support and giving support. You got to have support. And the 4th one, real easy, smile. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean like walk around with a fake smile so you look like some psychotic clown. I mean, you guys have probably heard this phrase before. I know a lot of you have. Your attitude will determine your altitude. How far you go in business, this business or any other business, is largely determined by your attitude. How you treat other people, how other people feel when they're around you. Now, just a little time out here, a little reality check, because we've all been there, we've all done that. We got family members like this, we got friends like this, or acquaintances. We all know, I want you to picture right now, that one person in your life that more often than not, when you get together with them, something's always wrong. They're bitching about something, something's not fair, somebody did them wrong, right? Whether it's their boss or the government or whatever, right? It's always wrong. It's usually about how they were wrong, right? It's just they're Eeyore for you Winnie the Pooh fans, right? Everybody's got an Eeyore in their life. Nobody loves me. Everybody's out to screw me, right? You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be Eeyore. You want to be Tigger, right? Tigger rocks. I mean, I always thought he was on speed or something because he was always happy, but I'd rather be Tigger than Eeyore, right? All right, just because you guys are listening, so I'll give you my Tigger. Here we go, ready? Right, okay, I did that because I practiced that when my kids were little. But I'd rather be Tigger than Eeyore. That's my point. And so your attitude matters. People are looking to follow positive people. And you guys have the power to be those people. Okay? So I encourage you, even on the days you don't feel like it, find a way to reflect, even if it's just determination in the middle of a bad day. I will not let this get me down. Right? I was showing my daughter, one of my favorite things is to watch 80s movies with my kids, because I'm a child of the 80s, when a lot of cool stuff happened, and a lot of weird stuff too, but there were some good movies in the 80s, and so I was showing my daughters Pretty in Pink not too long ago. And there's a line in there, she goes through the normal high school hell of friends and betrayal and the bitchy kids and the mean kids and all that stuff, right? And in the end, she shows up to prom by herself, and there's a quote where she says, "I'm going just to show them that they didn't beat me." Maybe that's your post for the day on Facebook. I am down, but I am not out. I'm struggling, but I'm not giving up. And so that's the fourth S on SMILE is all about your attitude. And ironically, some of the other S's help with that. If you have support, certainly it's easier to smile when you feel like you've got support or you've got a game plan for your business and all those things. But, your attitude and your hopeful attitude, your encouragement in the face of challenges is really, for a lot of people, the difference between success and failure. And so, guys, that's just a quick snapshot. 4 S's to a successful start. I encourage all of you guys, again, I'll post these on my Facebook page to the call. And again, if we're not friends on Facebook, please feel free to send out a friend request, Andy Bennis, WUN, Andy Bennis 1, and I would be happy to connect with you. But I will post the results here, and I've enjoyed the topic. I don't have any further updates for you guys on anything technical, so please just stay tuned and stay in touch, and we'll post updates anytime they happen. In the meantime, guys, have yourselves a great end of the month. And as we get ready to start the next one, if things didn't go quite the way you wanted, think through, what kind of goals you've got for this next month, and who's going to support you in getting through it. All right? Guys, thanks for taking the time. Go enjoy the rest of your Monday night, and have a great week. For those of you that are off to the Miami escape trip, have a great time. I know that Jason's roadshow continues, Miami, Atlanta, Virginia, and then I will be in Toronto week after next. And so, guys, have a great week. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Shoot me any questions you might have. Otherwise, I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Have a good night.
Your conference recording has stopped.
Okay, that's the end of the corporate call. Hope you enjoyed it. Lots of good information on there. Have a good night. I'm going to end it now.